Hey everyone, welcome to this video, and today I'm going to show you how to build your own deep researcher that is powered by locally running LLMs. So we are going to build two things today. One is going to be a Streamlit UI so that you can easily use this deep researcher to ask your queries. And I'll also build an MCP server wherein we'll wrap up this deep researcher inside an MCP tool so that you can use it inside your, let's say, Cursor ID or Cloud Desktop, and for that matter, any MCP client. So let's start with the Streamlit application, and I'll quickly give you a demo of both these things, and then I'll provide you a detailed walkthrough and step-by-step guide on how you can build it yourself. So let's start with the first demo. So you need to pass in the Linkup API key. So Linkup is something that I've been using for a very long time, and I have found this to be the best way to provide internet access or web access to your LLMs. So you provide your Linkup API key here. So the API key is now successfully stored. We'll start by doing the queries. So let's say we're asking it how small language models are transforming AI workflows in 2025. As it is doing deep research, so it will take a bit of time. So it will go through all the sources on the internet and then gather all this information and finally provide you a coherent response. So this is going to take a bit, and let's wait for the response to come up. Okay, so we have our final response, and as you can see, it's sort of a comprehensive article that it has given us. It has detailed headings like trends in small AI models. Along with that, it is providing us the citations to from where this system is gathering all this information. So I mean, we are sure that it is not hallucinating because everything is connected to an actual source. So as you can see, it's a detailed guide, and finally it nicely concludes it with all the findings. So this is the first demo. Now I'll show you how you can use it through your Cursor ID, as we have also created an MCP server around it. So in order to do so, I mean, you just need to start a new agent chat, and inside it you can say use MCP tools. So this time I'm asking it to, use MCP tool and perform a deep research on the evolution of quantum computing. And for that matter, you can ask any question. You can ask it about the latest event that are happening. So all of this heavy lifting is done by the tool that we're using, which is Linkup. So it supports both standard and deep research. So once you do that, you just need to click send. And as you can see, it is able to call the right MCP tool, although we have multiple servers. So it is able to, figure out what is the right server to use and what is the right tool that I need to call inside that server. So let's click on run tool. So first it creates sort of a plan, like what exactly it needs to, ask and do the research on. So again, it is going to call the same tool with a more detailed query so that it can provide you a comprehensive deep research on it. All right, so we have our final response. So it starts with the, the theoretical foundations going back to the start of 19th century, and then step by steps gives us the evolution of quantum computing. So again, the idea is to, I really like to use Cursor for everything. So I mean, why not just create an MCP server out of it and integrate this deep researcher with my favorite ID. So that's what I did. But I mean, you can integrate it with either Cloud Desktop or, for that matter, any MCP client that you like to use. All right, so that's all for the demo. Now it's time to deep dive and see how exactly this is built. So I'll be giving you a detailed walkthrough and a step-by-step guide on how you can reproduce all of this yourself. So before I move ahead, if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and like this video so that it gives me a signal that I should be creating more content like this. Thank you so much. So let's start with a quick walkthrough of how this system works. So the user fires up a query. We have a web search agent, and all of this is orchestrated by CrewAI. So the web search agent is using Linkup as a tool, and in my opinion, this is one of the best way to provide your LLMs access to the internet or the web. And yeah, the results that it gets are rivaling even Perplexity AI and OpenAI. So do check it out. And so once you have your first agent ready, which does the web research and gathers all the information from the internet and from different sources, and it can perform deep research using Linkup, it will provide all of these research notes to the second agent, which is our analyst agent, right? So this analyst agent is going to analyze these results. Maybe like if they are duplicate result, it is going to deduplicate them. And if it finds that, okay, a few things need more verification and fact checking, it can again delegate it to the web research agent, right? But if notes are approved, right, the research notes are approved, like it is able to see that, okay, yeah, the information that it is getting is perfect. It is going to, give it to the writer agent. So writer agent is our final agent, and the task of this agent to, provide a comprehensive and cohesive response that can be provided or that can be sent back to the end user. So this is how our system works, and we'll also wrap it up inside an MCP server so that you can use it from your IDE or from Cloud Desktop. So it's entirely up to you. So with that, I think it's a good time to jump into code and see like how all of this is built. So now I'm in my cursor IDE, and it's a fairly simple project to build. So first what you can do, since we are using CrewAI for all the orchestration, first we are going to define the local LLM that we are going to use, so the LLM would be powering all the three agents that we have. So we define our LLM like an LLM client so that you can use a locally served DeepSeek R1 inside your CrewAI agents. So this is what this function is doing. Then we are going to define the Linkup search tool, right? So CrewAI also has a really nice integration with Linkup, but like it's fairly easy to build a custom tool. I like to do that, and that's what I did here. So first you need to define like the input schema, and once you define the input schema of the tool, so that the agents or the LLMs inside the agent can understand like what exactly this tool needs and can do this tool calling or function calling in a proper manner, right? So you can be as descriptive as much as you want, right? So this is what we are doing. We are trying to give description of all the arguments, and even we are providing the description of like how the output should look like. Finally, we define our tool. We also provide the argument schema that we just defined. And then we are going to, define a run method. So when you're trying to define a custom tool, you just need to, override this method and put your business logic, or let's say whatever custom logic that you have for this tool inside it, right? Rest of the heavy lifting would be done by CrewAI. You do not have to worry about anything. So it's a simple Linkup client that we are creating. And then we are doing a search over it. As you can see, we are just providing the query, the depth, and the output type. So this is how we define our Linkup tool, and this tool is going to be used by our first agent, which is the web search agent. So yeah, we have defined the web search agent here, right? You provide it a role, which is searching the internet, right? You also provide it a goal and a backstory. So you can be as much descriptive as much you want here, right? So it is basically prompt engineering, but you should go through the docs of CrewAI. They have some specification or some guidelines on how you can, properly define the role, goal, and backstory, and what are their exact importance. But yes, you just think of it an agent as a human which has a particular task, and accordingly, like you can define its goal and backstory. So in our case, the goal of this agent is to find the most relevant results from the web based on user query, and also gather their URLs, or let's say the source, like from where exactly it is getting that information. Then we are going to define our second agent, which is the research analyst agent, right? So the goal of this agent is to analyze and synthesize the results that are provided to it by the web search agent. It can also delegate a task back to the web search agent in case it feels that, okay, the results are not correct, or maybe like it needs some verification or fact checking. So it has ability to, delegate these tasks to the web search agent, and you can easily do this by, simply writing it here. If required, it can delegate tasks for fact checking back to the web search agent. So once you have your research analyst defined, the next agent that we are going to define is the technical writer. So the technical writer agent needs to make sure once it has the verified result that are analyzed properly by the research analyst, it is going to produce a cohesive response that can be provided to the end user, right? And then we can simply define like the task for each of these agents. So corresponding to each agent, you also need to define the task that they are supposed to do, right? So again, you can provide some description. So the first task is, the search task. And as you can see here, like it is using the user query as base, and on the basis of that, it is going to search the internet and gather all the information. Similarly, we have an analysis task and a writing task. So once you have all your agents, tools, and tasks defined, you can create your crew, right? So we have put together all the agents, we have all the tasks as well, right? And since it's more or less a sequential process, so first we are going to do web search, then we are going to analyze those results, and then we are going to produce a cohesive response that is sent back to the user. So this is what we are doing in here. And yeah, so once you do that, you can kick off your Crew and get your results. So we have also wrapped this up inside a Streamlit UI, right? And we have already seen the UI, and this is all the code for it. I'll share it in a GitHub repository so that you can reproduce it yourself as well. The last thing that remains now is wrapping this up inside an MCP server. So to build our server, we'll be using MCP's official Python SDK, right? And you can build the server using fast MCP. So first we are going to do is, create an MCP instance. And we just provide the name of this server, which is in our case, it's Crew Research. And then you can use this tool decorator. So basically what it does is, like, anything that is wrapped inside, or any function that is wrapped inside, can be used as an MCP tool. So in here, like we are going to, provide the description of like the arguments that this function can take, which is a user query for which we need to perform deep research. And then it returns like the final response back to the client, which is going to connect with the server. So in here, like inside this MCP tool, we have wrapped up the run research function, right, which takes the user query, kicks off our Crew, and provide us a deep research result. So coming back to server.py, and then we're going to use stdio transport. So basically, once this server runs, right, the outputs are going to be printed on stdio. Then our client, or let's say the agent inside the cursor ID, is going to take this as a context to produce outputs. That is something that we have already seen in the demo in the initial part of the video. So that's about creating the MCP server. So I'll also quickly show you like how you can connect it. So let's say if you're trying to build it, how you can connect this server to your cursor ID. So all you need to do is to go to cursor, go to settings, and there we have cursor settings. And inside cursor settings, you would find MCP. So I already have these two tools. So let's say now you want to add a new MCP server. So all you need to do is to, edit the setting. So once you're inside this mcp.json, right? So in here, you can provide all the different servers that the cursor ID can use, right? So if I see here, like these are the MCP server, like inside this dictionary, you can list all of them. So I have an iLevel server, and then I have a Crew Research server, which is what we are focusing on and building today, right? So all you need to do is to, provide a command how you can run it. So I'm using UE in this case, which is a really great package manager. And then in the arguments, you need to specify like where exactly your server is present, right? So you provide a directory like where your server.py file is present, and then do run server.py. So it's just like, UV run server.py with its full path. Along with that, this is something really nice. So you can provide all the environment variable that your server script is going to need. Since our Crew research, since our Crew that we are building to do deep research uses Linkup to get access to web. So in here you can provide your Linkup API key so that you can use this deep researcher as an MCP server from your cursor ID. So this is how it works. Alright, so that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and learned something new. If you liked it, then make sure that you reshare it with your network, and don't forget to follow me for more insights and tutorial like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.